Crisis hit America as malaria spread and insect repellents that contained a tremendous amount of DDT chemicals were killing people and wildlife.
Pesticides were used everywhere and huge amounts were being poured onto the soil. Not only were the crops damaged,
but the pesticide chemicals sunk so deep into the soil and eventually got to the lakes and rivers, killing animals and people who used these waters.
The National History Day theme for this year is an individual in history.
And Rachel Carson is an individual in history.
Rachel was born on May 27, 1907 in Springfield, Pennsylvania.
Being the youngest, Rachel spent her childhood in the family farmhouse.
She expanded her knowledge for nature and developed an unending love for earth throughout her childhood years.
One of her accomplishments was that Rachel graduated with honors from the Pennsylvania College, also known as Chatham College. She then earned a scholarship to the Johns Hopkins University.
After completing her education in zoology, Carson joined the U.S. Bureau of Fisheries, becoming the writer of the once famous show, Romance Under the Waters.
This enabled her to explore life under the ocean and deliver it to her listeners. Rachel soon became the first woman to take and pass the service test, which promoted her to become a full-time junior biologist.
After 15 years, Rachel became the chief editor of all publications for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
Carson started to write books along with her observations of life under the seas, and in 1952, she devoted all her time to writing after resigning from her government position.
After Rachel concentrated on her writing, she contributed several articles to enlighten society with her observations of life under the sea. Some of these articles were even designed to teach people about the wonder and beauty of the living world.
Carson wrote Help Your Child Wonder and Our Ever-Changing Shore. She also planned another book on the ecology of life. These books illustrated images into people's minds that encouraged them to go outside and to experience nature with their senses.
But Rachel didn't stop there. Soon after World War II, Carson was disturbed by the wasteful use of artificial chemical pesticides and changed her attention in order to warn the public about the long-term effects of these chemicals.
As demonstrated in her book, Silent Spring, Rachel challenged the practices of agricultural scientists and the government, calling for a change in the way citizens viewed the natural world.
She was not scared of the government and stood up for what she believed was the right thing.
Rachel seemed to get attacked by the reporters and the society around her. Manufacturing companies tried to destroy her.
In fact, there were a couple of industries that even made campaigns against her. One of them was the Monsanto company.
As said by Edward Herman, "It's made no difference." Carson was well prepared for the attacks. Not only would she not be intimidated, but she even refused to go out of her way to defend her position, saying the book could look after itself.
Turns out Carson's theory was correct. A lot of people stood by her side and supported what her writing acknowledged.
Soon after, people awoke to the negative impact of DDT and other pesticides by reading her books.
The government had no choice but to ban all products containing DDT chemicals.
Carson's legacy continued to expand as more people read her books, which were an inspiration to everyone with the same love and passion for nature.
Rachel Carson's books also encouraged many people to form the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency.
Rachel Carson was, is, and always will be an inspiration to us personally and spiritually.
She awakened society and contributed to our world today.
Without her, the world would have most definitely been different because she saved lives.
And because of that point in history, that certain problem, Rachel Carson became an individual in history.
Here comes the sun, doo-doo. Here comes the sun, I say it's alright.